to a very special edition of our monthly pitch event in partnership with the United Negro College Fund and our sponsors, Cooley and Brex. I'm Jason James, Growth Marketing Manager here at OneValley, and we are thrilled to be hosting some of the best and brightest student founders from historically Black colleges and universities. Now, before we kick off, I want to tell you a little bit about what we do here at OneValley. OneValley is a global entrepreneurship platform that supports entrepreneurs, accelerates startups, and empowers organizations across the globe that foster innovation communities. Now, over the past 6 years, OneValley has supported hundreds of startups that have raised over $1 billion. Our mission at OneValley, very simple: democratize the resources of Silicon Valley and share them with the global community. We do so through a variety of initiatives, including events like these. Now, pre-COVID, we were running about 80 events a year in person in our various innovation spaces. Today, not only are we running these events virtually, but the online accessibility of them has opened up these opportunities to the world at large, the effects of which you will see today. Now, I'd like to introduce you to Passport. So Passport is our online innovation platform. It features over 35,000 members on the platform who access and interact with not only each other, but also dozens of corporate partners, hundreds of investors and mentors, and nearly $1 million in discounted or free technology tools and services. Now, special for our viewers today, we are offering 25% off premium Passport memberships with code 25HBCU. So if you're not a member yet, I encourage you to check us out and take advantage of this discount by clicking the banner at the bottom of your screen. Now, in addition to the chance to share their amazing startups with each of us today, each of our participants are going to be receiving a free annual membership to Passport through our Black Founders Scholarship Program, which is supported by our awesome partners at Cooley and Brex. So if you are a founder or you know a founder who would qualify for the scholarship and are interested in applying, please do so at the application link that has just been posted in the chat. With that said, it is my pleasure to introduce OneValley Passport member and newly minted mentor, Dale Trotman, who we first met at EWC and is also a recipient of our Black Founders Scholarship. He's also the CEO of Med Regis. Dale?
Hello, everyone. I'm glad to be part of this event supporting Black excellence, especially in historically Black colleges and universities. My name is Dale Trotman, CEO of the health technology startup Med Regis, and I am from Barbados in the Caribbean. Our flagship solution is an outpatient care electronic health record. We realized a problem in the US that we do not want to replicate within the Caribbean with our solution, and that is physician burnout related to cumbersome electronic health records. As an Entrepreneurship World Cup finalist and part of the Black Scholarship Program, I have been using Passport since 2019. I recently utilized the perks to receive $100,000 in grant funding by offsetting the balance I had to provide for the grant. You guys will enjoy the support system OneValley offers, and I look forward to seeing your success as Black entrepreneurs. I know you will enjoy this event, and I will leave you with this quote from Malcolm X. Education is the passport for the future. For tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. OneValley's Passport is an educational tool to enlighten yourself about customers, market, processes, and many other areas that will help you succeed. Give your best during your pitches, and remember, you all are already winners. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dale, for those inspiring words. We love having you as a member, and we appreciate you. Remember, Dale is a mentor on our Passport platform, so please feel free to book a one-on-one meeting with him. He has great advice to share. Next, I'd like to introduce you to Ahriana Schaefer. She's the associate at our partner Cooley, who helped make this possible. Their scholarship, literally, their contributions to our scholarship helps make the Black Founder Scholarship possible. Ahriana, please.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for the introduction. I'm Ahriana Schaefer, as mentioned. I'm an emerging company lawyer at Cooley, and we're delighted to be a sponsor of Passport Black Founders and this pitch event in particular. My colleagues and I work with companies of all stages and sizes, from first-time founders like many of you all here today to some of the most recognizable unicorns in the market. So we really hope that you take something away from this event and that our paths cross. We're always happy to have a conversation with any founders about how we might help with incorporation or fundraising or any other legal issues on your mind. So please feel free to reach out and have a great event.
Thanks so much, Ahriana, and thank you so much to Cooley for your contributions to this awesome program. I'd next like to introduce our partners at the United Negro College Fund, UNCF. Please welcome Miss Mary Williams. She's the Director of Outreach and Recruitment, and she's going to tell us a little more about UNCF.
Thank you so much, Jason. And hello, everyone. We are so glad to be a sponsor this evening. You may know that UNCF has been around for 76 years. And our mission is really to envision a nation where all Americans have equal access to a college education that prepares them for a rich, intellectual lives, for competitive and fulfilling careers, and engaged citizenship in service to our nation. UNCF is second only to the federal government in providing scholarships to students of color. We offer 400 programs on an annual basis, and our goal is to support students going to and through college and onto their career. So being a part of this pitch event with OneValley is ideal because you as entrepreneurs are on the way to build your career, to have your own business. So it's right in line with UNCF support. So we wish you the best this evening. We invite you as students of HBCUs to make sure you're connected to uncf.org/scholarships for other opportunities as well. But tonight is your night, and we wish you the best in this pitch competition. Thank you so much.
Well, and thank you so much, Mary, and thank you for the partnership with UNCF. It has been invaluable. Thank you for the work you all do. And thank you again to our amazing partners this evening. Again, Cooley, Brex, and the United Negro College Fund. Now, let's go to our fireside chat. I would like to welcome OneValley CEO, Nikhil Sinha, and the amazing Kezia Williams, CEO of the Black Upstart, who will be sharing her insights, experiences, and tricks of the trade as one of the premier Black leaders in the entrepreneurial community. Nikhil?
Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Jason. And I'm delighted, everyone, to introduce today's fireside chat keynote guest, Kezia Williams, popularly known, I'm told, as Professor Kez. Kezia is the CEO of the Black Upstart, a nationally recognized company serving African-American innovators interested in starting successful, profitable, and job-creating small businesses. The organization has trained over 500 entrepreneurs in over 8 states, including the District of Columbia, New York, Georgia, North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, and Louisiana. And their graduates have been featured on Netflix, on Shark Tank, on the Washington Post, Essence Magazine, and Black Enterprise Magazine for their innovative businesses. Recently, Kezia launched Skillhouse U, an online school that provides the necessary skills and training for entrepreneurship and wealth creation, and that's graduated more than 5,000 people in over 22 classes since it was launched in March of 2020. And if all that wasn't enough, Kezia also leads My Black Receipt, a tech company that tracks spending at Black-owned businesses. Kezia has been featured on CNN, Forbes, USA Today, Black Enterprise, and Yelp, as a regular speaker at national conferences and symposia across the nation. She's been interviewed in Good Morning America, CNBC, Black News Network, and Cheddar. I'm already terribly envious of all of this, Kezia, but it is a delight to have you with us. Thank you for joining us. And thank you for helping support young Black entrepreneurs from historically Black colleges and universities.
Thank you so much for having me, Mr. Nikhil. I am so glad to be here with the OneValley family. That bio always embarrasses me. I'm like, it's so long, but it's definitely a reflection of service. And one of the organizations that helped catapult me into the entrepreneurial field is the United Negro College Fund, where I work as a senior manager there leading a UNCF Koch Scholars Entrepreneurship Program. So I definitely want to shout out Miss Mary, who is an inspiration of mine, my entire UNCF family, and again, thank OneValley and the HBCU founders who are allowing me to speak with you for just a few moments today.
Well, great, welcome, thanks again. Let me start with you, Kezia, and tell us a little bit about how you started your entrepreneurial journey. What was the motivation? What inspired you to become an entrepreneur?
Yeah, so this is quite a story, Mr. Nikhil. So probably like a lot of Black founders who are tuning in today, I was taught that the definition of success was you go to high school, you get your diploma, you go to college, you get a degree. That was not an option in my household. And then you graduate and you go and you get a good government job with benefits. And if you can do that in my family, that was considered success. And so that's exactly what I did. I went to high school, got a diploma, went to college, got a degree, graduated, got a good government job with benefits, and I had my own car and my own place. So I felt like I was doing the thing. But as a lot of Black founders, especially students, will find is that sometimes you find yourself in places and spaces where you're just showing up to work every single day for a paycheck, and your paycheck doesn't align with your purpose. But I stayed with the government for 5 years because I was taught that that's exactly what I needed to do. And it was comfortable. I would go to work every single day, 9 to 5, then I would get off and I would volunteer work that I really wanted to do. I started a nonprofit organization. We were giving back as young philanthropists. And so I would look forward to 5 o'clock, and then 5:05, I would be doing my community work. And then my 6th year in government, my supervisor changed. And at that time, though I had been doing, my mother told me I was working twice as hard. I felt like I was, twice as smart as some of my other peers. My supervisor sat me down and she said, I see that you're doing great work. You're writing senior level reports in the counterterrorism and counterintelligence field. Mr. Nikhil, I promise you this is gonna get to entrepreneurship, because sometimes people hear counterterrorism and they're like, girl, how did you get to business? But she said to me, well, I'm looking at the work that you do, and I see that you don't have a master's degree. And so though you are writing these senior level reports, we're gonna have to change your job responsibilities. You will no longer be working by writing senior level reports. Your new responsibility is gonna be organizing travel in the office, which was a demotion for me. So I asked her, well, why? And she was like, you don't have a degree. This is more aligned with your experience. So I was like, well, my salary changed? She was like, well, your role will change. Perhaps your salary will change, but let's just see how this works out. So I was like, great. Still 5 o'clock, I'm getting off of work. I'm going to live out my purpose. 3 months later, we sat down again and she said, you know what? I think that travel is above your ability. We're going to move you to a different responsibility. Now your new responsibility is going to be making badges for the people in the office. And I was just like, well, I don't think that that's the best use of my knowledge, my skills and abilities. And she was like, well, this is all that I have for you right now, since you don't have an advanced degree. So I said, as long as I can see you living my purpose outside of work, I will come in here, I will do my best. But then another 3 months passed by and she said, we're changing your responsibilities again. And I want you to get your chair and I want you to follow me. And I got my chair, I followed her down the hallway, and we stopped in front of the ladies' room. And she said, your new responsibility is going to be buzzing people in and out of a cleared bathroom. And I paused and I was like, for how long? She was like, as long as you're working here until your responsibilities change. And I remember leaving my job that day and I called my mother and I said, Mom, I know you said getting this good government job with benefits is supposed to be the definition of success, but this is what this lady has me doing. And I feel like I was called for much more. Is this something that I don't think this is something that I could do for the next few months. And my mom, to her credit, she said, I'm looking at your savings account. I believe that you have the knowledge, skills, and ability to do better. If you feel like you can get another job after this, then I endorse your decision to quit your job. I remember quitting my job. And that Friday, I got my last direct deposit. That Monday, I called up the unemployment office and I asked them, I said, okay, well, how much do I get now that I've quit my job? How much unemployment do you get? And Mr. Nikhil, you probably know when you quit your job, they don't give you unemployment. You don't get that. And so I realized at that point that I was volunteering for my purpose, but my purpose wasn't paying me. And I realized that any hand that had the power to feed me also had the power to starve me. It was in that space that I decided to make the commitment that I wanted to be the hand that fed me, right? I knew I had knowledge, skills, and abilities, but I had to get in my head and realize that I could create economic independence for myself through business creation. My very next job was the United Negro College Fund. And by happenstance, one of the ladies who volunteered with me to help execute my purpose outside of work hired me into UNCF. And she said, I think you have the entrepreneurial spirit. I'm going to hand this $25 million program over to you to manage, and you will learn entrepreneurship inside of work, and you have my blessing to start your business outside of work. And that's my story. I started working for UNCF. I started a now international for-profit organization, Black Upstart, after that, and we've since touched 500 lives.
That's an amazing story, and I can only, imagine how frustrating that period would have been for you. But at the end of the day, we all have to thank your supervisor for, enabling you to start your entrepreneurial journey, and which is going to help lots more people than I think you would have done in that government job. So, that's an amazing story, and thank you for sharing that. So, as you started your entrepreneurial journey, you started with your startup, Black Upstarts. What are the challenges that you faced that sort of, were unique to entrepreneurs in general, but particularly unique to Black founders, and particularly, women Black founders? And I think we'd love to get your sense of what are the challenges, what are the obstacles, and then how did you overcome those?
I think the biggest challenge that a lot of entrepreneurs face is that we have big vision, right? We have big vision, but our resources, especially for Black entrepreneurs, force us to start smaller than our vision, and that's okay. I always tell the entrepreneurs that I train that you need to use what you have, start where you are, and do what you can. The same thing happened with Black Upstart. I started with a $0 budget. I had a vision to start a school, but the way my budget was set up, perhaps I could rent out a small room. So we released an application for people on Google Docs for free. We set a goal to have 20 people sign up for our class, and we got 123 applications in a week. I had not even hired any speakers. I just wanted to prove that the concept was true. And we see that type of example with Black entrepreneurs throughout history, which is why with Black Upstart, we don't teach Black entrepreneurs how to succeed like a white male entrepreneur, because Black entrepreneurs don't benefit from privilege. So we teach stories like Madam C.J. Walker and how she was able to become one of the first female millionaires in history, but she started by mixing hair products in her kitchen. We talk about entrepreneurs like Maggie L. Walker from Richmond, Virginia, who was the first Black woman to charter a bank. She did not receive any type of government assistance. She had to raise money from her nonprofit organization, the Independent Order of St. Luke, and use those charitable contributions in order to protect the financial accounts of Black residents that lived in the state of Virginia and make loans to them. We talk about how Mary McLeod Bethune is known for Bethune-Cookman University, but she started her enterprise in a one-room schoolhouse where she had just a handful of girls and her son, and she was making ends meet by selling sweet potato pies to the mine workers down the street. There was no venture capitalist. It was the community that helped keep her doors open. And the last example that I'll bring up for those of you all who are looking for a contemporary example is that we can watch Insecure. And Mr. Nikhil, I'm not sure if you've seen Insecure, but people have Team Issa Rae and Team Lawrence. It's on HBO. but Issa Rae started her business on YouTube. It costs nothing to start on YouTube. She proved her concept by using her 9-to-5 paycheck in order to fund her dream, her purpose. And by the second season, she had people who were her subscribers donate nearly $15,000 to fund her second season. And Pharrell, the musician, funded her third season. And so it's important for us to dream big, but have the audacity and the confidence to start small.
That's just a terrific advice for young entrepreneurs and founders, no matter what their color, but I think particularly important for Black founders to learn, to have that history and to learn that as well. I want to just touch on, you raised the point about the privileges enjoyed by white founders and the ecosystem that's been built up to support them. What kind of changes would you like to see in the entrepreneurial startup ecosystem, sort of the venture supported industry? And what do we need to do to be sort of more open, inclusive, diverse, and be able to bring in, and I think, be far more successful in the types of businesses that we support through that ecosystem?
I have two very critical pieces of advice. The first one is very near and dear to my heart, especially as we have conversations about the stimulus. I believe that Black entrepreneurs are taught that they need to pull up by their bootstraps, while other business owners and entrepreneurs have pulled up on a policy. When you look at the history of the United States of America, there are policies that disproportionately benefited different populations of people who were not Black. And if we want to start with the most recent policies like the Payment Protection Program and the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, which provided $10,000 cash advances and up to tens of thousands of dollars in forgivable loans to business owners, a lot of Black entrepreneurs were locked out of that process because they were competing with publicly traded companies or small companies like a Shake Shack and a Ruth Chris. So when we talk about Black entrepreneurship and the resources that are available to them, one, we need to have an honest conversation about how we educate them to access these resources. And then we have to hold those businesses and policymakers accountable for the resources that they make decisions about to make sure that that money, which is tax-funded money, has trickle-down effects for those people who enjoy it. The other thing is we have to have a conversation about protecting Black genius. I just wrote a book, the Black Entrepreneurs Workbook, a couple months ago. And one of the things that I researched was the State Corporation Commission, which is responsible for registering your business name with the state. One of the things that a lot of Black entrepreneurs, a lot of entrepreneurs in general don't know is that for a number of years, entrepreneurs were creators had to take the patent oath in order to submit their patent for US protection. But Black entrepreneurs weren't invited to take that oath for the first 50 years of that oath's existence because you had to be a US citizen. And Black Americans during the time of that oath weren't able to do that. The third thing is for people who are VCs. It's important to understand that Black entrepreneurs face a unique set of challenges when it comes down to building innovation-driven enterprises. We start off, yes, from a place of Black privilege, but the way in which the American economic system was set up, there are different ways that we have to turn obstacles into opportunities. So it's important to look at the receipts more so than the color of entrepreneur's skin when making those determinations.
Well, great, thank you. Let me, we have questions coming in from the audience and I'd like to field a couple of them and give our audience members an opportunity to ask you questions as well. A question, what's the best piece of business advice that you ever received and what advice would you give to young entrepreneurs who are looking to break through?
All right, here's the best piece of advice that someone's given me. That the cost of success is commitment. And overnight successes happen over time. And so when it comes to Black Upstart, and maybe even you could speak to this as well with OneValley, is that OneValley wasn't built in a day. Black Upstart wasn't built in a day, a month, or a year. So for Black entrepreneurs, I mean entrepreneurs, but Black entrepreneurs specifically, I need you to believe in your vision, okay? People are gonna think you're crazy because you're seeing with vision what other people can only see with eyesight. That's why people call entrepreneurs crazy, because you're seeing what other people can't. But I want you to be able to double down, and say to yourself that you have the knowledge, skills, and abilities to materialize the substance of things hoped for and evidence things not yet seen. Billion-dollar businesses are not birthed with bargain basement work ethic. So if you want success, you're going to have to work with it. The second thing is, the entire economy is pivoting right now. We're watching it happen right before our eyes. And so for entrepreneurs who are solving problems, I need you to look forward to those products and services in the future that people are paying for solutions for. If you're selling a product or service that nobody wants to buy, you do not have a business, you have a hobby. And I always like to clap with that so people remember it. What are the solutions in the future, and how can you use the resources that you have available to you in order to pivot to meet that need? For a lot of entrepreneurs, you started 2020 with a particular business vision for your enterprise, and then the pandemic hit and you had to pivot. The vision remains the same, but perhaps the product had to change. And so I want to encourage you to stay the course and also keep the faith.
That's a great words of wisdom. And I know that many of the founders listening in today would benefit from that. I could spend the rest of the evening chatting with you, Kezia, but this is an opportunity for us to showcase some of the most promising founders from historically Black colleges and universities, and I want to give them their due and the stage for the rest of the evening. So with that, thank you again for joining us. Thanks for sharing your story and all of your wisdom and your enthusiasm. And now it's over to you, Jason.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nikhil, and best wishes to all of the entrepreneurs pitching tonight. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Well, thank you again, Nikhil and Kezia, for that inspiring and insightful dialogue. It is so important that we continue these types of conversations, and we're just grateful to have leaders like Kezia to offer such amazing advice. So thanks again for that. To get started with the pitching portion of tonight, I would first like to start by introducing our judges. So our judges this evening are Marlon Evans of Next Cubed, Sophie Lau of Oyster Ventures, and Juan Scarlett of our own OneValley Ventures. Judges, I want to thank you all for being here, and I want to give you all a quick moment to introduce yourselves and tell us, why did you become an entrepreneur? Sophie, let's start with you.
Hi, everyone. I'm not at up, but I tend to build a house like that. 2020 has been a really weird time for us. Thank you for inviting me to this, really inspiring event. Just this quarantine has been brutal to my personality, but times like this makes me reflect a lot. It just reflects also why I, turned from a documentary filmmaker to entrepreneur. Got really lucky, sold my company, and became VC at small and large venture capital funds in Silicon Valley. To fast forward 4 or 5 years ago, launching my own fund is because I think in such times with uncertainty, wide wealth distribution gap, and high inflation rate, as an individual, you can either say, curse the darkness or light a candle. So what I decided to do is light a candle through launching my own venture capital fund, raising money from the, rich and lucky, and hopefully deploy the capital to the entrepreneurs like all of you guys today, making a difference to your own community and to the world. Bottom line is my job as a venture capitalist today, as a judge today, is to help as many people as possible not to become a victim of the wealth gap, and also contribute to make the world a fair place. With further ado, I also run my own VC fund like a startup. It's just me and another partner. I do everything from scratch. Any questions, I'm all yours. That's me. Thank you.
Well, Sophie, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. Marlon, how about you?
Great, thanks, Jason. Can I just cede my time to Kezia? We could just listen to more of her. Phenomenal, inspirational. Thanks for Kezia, for joining. Appreciate you having me. I'm Marlon Evans, CEO at NextCubed. Prior to joining NextCubed, I was the CEO of the artist formerly known as GSV Labs. So it's good to come back and see some familiar faces. I got into this space as a way, and I think it's very emblematic of why we're all here, is to really make sure that anybody who wanted to go down the path of entrepreneurship had access to the resources that they needed to be successful, regardless of their background or zip code. So I'm really excited to see this program that OneValley has launched. We've done something similar at NextCubed, where we've launched an HBCU founders program to support students and provide them with the funding and the resources that they need to be successful. So excited to see this happening at OneValley and looking forward to hearing the pitches.
Oh, awesome. Thank you, Marlon, and thank you for being here. Juan?
Thank you. Juan Scarlett, Managing Director at OneValley Ventures. I recently joined the OneValley team to lead the OneValley Ventures effort, where we are working with partners to develop and execute venture investment strategies across the OneValley ecosystem. One of our first efforts is an early stage venture fund focused on investing in standout digital transformation companies with dynamic founders, taking on high value problems in highly attractive markets. Prior to joining OneValley, I led an early stage fund called Nimble Ventures and also had the growth stage investing efforts for Passport Capital. Some of my past investments include 23andMe, also Pharmacy, Credit Sesame, Data Miner, and Zora. I've been in the venture capital industry for the past 14 plus years. And before that, worked in public company technology investing and research here on the West Coast as well. I earned a bachelor's degree from Florida A&M University, so I'm a proud HBCU alum, and earned an MBA from the University of California, Berkeley, Haas School of Business. I've always had a high level of interest in technology and technology investing. Became a major interest, really, I think, going into MBA school, and have really just had this incredible thirst for one, educating myself on technology, and two, working with early stage startups as much as I can. So look forward to continue to do that with OneValley Ventures, and very much looking forward to hearing the pitches tonight from these amazing founders. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Juan, and thank you so much to the rest of our judges. We're very excited to have you here, and I think our startups are fortunate to have such a great panel today to pitch to. So, as far as our pitches go, today we will hear pitches from 7 amazing founders from HBCUs. And there is nothing like HBCU pride. So if you know one of our founders or you hear your school mentioned, I'm asking everybody in the chat to throw some love into the chat box for them and show your school pride. Our pitching founders today are going to be Georgiana Wright. She is the CEO and founder of Paper AI, Alabama A&M University, class of 2022. We've got Eric J. Green II, president and founder of Hagl, Howard University, class of 2022. Tishauna Wilson, CEO and founder of Tasckq, Florida A&M University, class of 2020. Abidemi Awojuyigbe, CEO and founder of Scholist, Prairie View A&M University, class of 2021. Safir Monroe, CEO of Undelay, Howard University, class of 2017, alumni in the house. Ahriana Edwards, founder and CEO of Vaila, Fayetteville State University, class of 2021. And Matthew Bradshaw, founder and CEO of Growing Through Outreach, Claflin University, class of 2024. Now, a quick reminder about what is at stake tonight. Our grand prize winner will be walking away with $2,000 in cash, and the audience choice will walk away with $500 in cash. And as mentioned, all of our participants tonight will be given a Black Founder Scholarship provided by our partners at Cooley and Brex. So now let's walk through all the ways that you at home can participate in the action. First, Ask questions to our pitching startups in the chat. If we have time, we may get to them. Next, rate each startup after their pitch for a chance to win a free year of Passport for yourself. And then also remember, your votes determine the audience choice winner who will win that $500 prize. And finally, if you're a funder or an investor out there who is looking to connect with any of our pitching startups, ask for an intro through the Meet the Startups tab at the top of our page. With that, I would like to welcome to the virtual stage our first pitcher, Georgiana Wright, CEO and founder of Paper AI. Welcome, Georgiana.
Hello, everyone. I am Georgiana Wright. I am the CEO and founder of Paper AI. I create and customizable fan fiction for all. I'm so sorry for the interruption, but what is fan fiction? If you never had the delight of fan fiction or being a part of fan communities, fan fiction is basically creative fiction created by fans. I'm a big fan of WandaVision right now. If you're a big fan of any Marvel movies or any TV shows, put it in the chat. But it says basically fans creating amazing content for their community and everything else. So fans are having hard issues with finding affordable and high quality fan fiction. Media agencies rely on fan fiction for consumer retention for PR and marketing. However, 70% of our users have issues with this lack of high quality writing and technical issues on fan fiction hosting websites. So where does Paper AI come in? Paper AI is a customizable story generator to bridge the gap between publishers and fans. So for fans, we want to focus on you with trade customization and also scenario customization to include fans for all different communities, including like if you have a friend from Harry Potter and you want to have them get into Marvel, we do it for all fan communities. Also faster access to fan fiction using OpenAI's GP3 model, using natural language processing, which is just a fancy term for AI. By having access to GP3 model, it just gives us more access to faster fan fiction for the fans. And also we want to focus on parents and younger audiences, giving enough safety and leeway for parents who want to make sure that their kids are protected around fan fiction and certain media outlets. So Paper AI, for publishers, we want to give you real-time feedback from fans about your characters and also your IP. And also we'll consult with you about like marketing your IP and also how your talent's doing in the app and how everything else is going as well. So for Paper AI, we're focused on artificial intelligence to create customizable stories, unlike our competitors, Webtoons and Episode. And also Paper AI focuses more on accessibility on all fronts by being affordable, having a website and mobile app, and also being accessible to screen readers, which is never really found in most digital publishing platforms. And also we want to focus on high quality stories and endless stories for high earning users. So the market right now, digital publishing is becoming huge with a $51 million total available market. However, we want to focus on more active English users on fan fiction websites, making a serviceable, obtainable market of 61 million. So our customer discovery, we have had a sample size of 50 users, and around 70% of them of potential users around 19 to 25. 52% have agreed to become beta testers, and 94 users interviewed has transferred to interested users. So now they're on our waiting list, and also they will receive any updates about Paper AI. So our revenue model is based on a tier subscription model. Bronze for $5 monthly for 50 stories weekly, and also $10 monthly for limited stories to make sure that people aren't misusing the API for anything with their own sort. Sorry. So the future, we're planning to launch a private beta test in March 2021. We've already been accepted into AI at MIT's Generated. Also, I'm a Pear Fellow, so we have been accepted into Pear Garage. Also to continue customer discovery for a goal of 100 beta users. Thank you so much. Please follow us on our website and also contact me. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Georgiana, for your awesome pitch. Sophie, I will throw it to you for the first question of the day.
Can I ask two though? Thank you for the awesome pitch. So I think GPT-3 is the largest language modeling trained today. I believe it will serve for greater humankind in all fields, right? Including software development, teaching, poetry writing, etc. I'm just wondering, curious, among all the possible applications you could choose to build on top, tell us the rationale behind why choosing fictional stories. And the second question is obviously is the user acquisition strategy. Thanks.
Yes, so for GP3, it's very sensitive, but OpenAI is really sensitive about how it's being used for. And for fictional stories, most of the time, a lot of the users from fan fiction communities, we just want such good quality stories. And since GP3 gives access to just generating unlimited amounts, so I could just edit, and it still doesn't hurt anyone, which is one of OpenAI's main principle, that they don't want anything evil to be done with this. So instead of using it for medical use, which could easily be misused, fictional stories don't hurt anyone, and also it just gives more entertainment for everyone. And for customer acquisition, since I have been an active user of fan communities, and also I have been an esports moderator, I know how to navigate internet communities as well. I'm a big moderator for another group. So it's really, I already started, I'm so sorry, I'm slowing down, started acquiring customers. So we're trying to reach around hundreds. So yes.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome. Marlon, any questions?
Sure, Georgiana, great job. You mentioned that the pain point seems to be within the fan fiction community in terms of quality content, but you also touched on the other side of the marketplace, which is the publishers. Have you thought about ways that you can monetize the platform through the publishers?
Yes, we want to do, if any of the publishers would like to use any of the GPT stories to possibly publish into a short story or a book, we want to do possibly not a stipend, but more contracts with them. So not like instant monetization, but making sure that anything that they generate, we also get revenue from.
Wonderful. And then potentially some of the data that you're collecting would be, of value to someone within the the ecosystem. Have you thought about monetizing that as well?
I personally want to make sure all my users' data is safe, even though it would be very great to generate revenue and sell possibly their data. I feel like since a lot of people in the community are so straightforward about they want to make sure their data is safe, and a lot of these other fan fiction hosting websites misuse their data and also sell it without giving them prior feedback on just rules and rules. I just want to be different from our other competitors.
Wonderful, thank you.
Very noble. Juan, anything from you?
Sure, thanks. Thank you so much for that pitch, Georgiana. That was fantastic. Just one quick question. What's the current development status of the platform? Is it ready to launch? When do you plan to do so? And by the way, I also echo Marlon's question with regards to the business model. I think there's an excellent opportunity on the other side of your market as well with publishers to monetize them. But really would love to just understand the current status of the platform. I have a 13-year-old here who's probably going to be one of your first customers.
Oh, thank you. So basically, we're right now on a development stage. We're launching our MVP, hopefully around in next 2 weeks. We're just doing private tests within our waiting list, since on our user beta testers, to make sure that everything's going on with them, and also they're not generating anything abnormal via GP3's API. So right now we're planning to do a launch in March for the MVP, and hopefully for a full official launch for our app on iOS would be in fall 2021.
Awesome. Well, I'm sure a lot of people would be downloading that. I share with Juan. My daughters are also big fans as well, so I'm sure they'll be getting that. Quick question actually from the chat here. This one's very great. How difficult was it to get such a great domain name as paper.ai?
It's a bit hard. I still have issues with finding like the correct domain name. Most likely I'm going to change from Paper.ai to something more marketable. But yeah, this has been a bit of a hectic start.
Awesome. Well, Georgiana, thank you so much. Your pitch was fantastic. And it sounds like the judges enjoyed it as well. So thank you. Next, we will be jumping into a pitch from Eric J. Green II, president and founder of Hagl.
Hello, can you see me all right?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Good evening, everyone. My name is Eric Jonathan Green II, and I'm the president and founder of Hagl Incorporated, the world's newest and only international barter-only marketplace that empowers our users to take control of their consumerism and trade anything with anyone. Now, we all love the holidays, but sometimes we just don't get what we want to get. For example, this Alex Rodriguez baseball card is from 2006, still wrapped up. But what am I going to do with this? I'm a Red Sox fan. So am I going to sell it online for $5, $10, $15 and go through all the hassle and having somebody try to lowball me? No, I would much rather trade that item on a website. But right now, there is no easy, trustworthy, and free platform that allows users to barter items. So with Hagl, we're giving our users another option. We are the only bartering-only marketplace that allows users to engage in peer-to-peer trading with clearinghouses for item validation and Hagl ports to provide users a user-friendly experience. We are also environmentally friendly, we encourage community engagement, and we prevent resale scams and fraud. Right now, our TAM is around $3 billion at the total US barter market in 2020, and our serviceable obtainable market is just over $410 million in our starting location, which will be the Mid-Atlantic region. We took our hypothesis to the customer. We found that 90% of our people that we surveyed would engage in item for item trading, but they have no clue where to do it at. 70% of people are dissatisfied losing money on the resale market, and 50% of people give away their old items to colleagues for free, which really validates that these items have a place and people want them. One man's trash is another man's treasure. Now in this market, we have some big names like eBay, OfferUp, Listia, SwapHub, TradeMate. But as you see, Hagl is the only option that has both user value items and item validation and shipping options, creating a totally new experience on the marketplace. We're able to do this by being the only user value marketplace that allows users to earn and track carbon offsetting credits for every item that they upload and trade. Hagl ports, which are safety locations that people can go and meet up in person and complete their trades. And with Hagler, our premium subscription model, we transform the application into a new way of life. Now, our Hagl ports are a three-step process. We're going to be working with local communities and counties to implement Hagl ports at local libraries, and we're going to be leveraging our environmental impact. Then users basically complete their trades on the application and agree to meet up at the Hagl port, and now they know that they have a sense of security, which is a totally unique system compared to any resale market out there right now. Our clearinghouses have a similar three-step process where users go on the application, select an item to trade, we send them a shipping label that they print out, they can send their items to our clearinghouse where they'll be validated, and then the items will send to the respective user after they've been verified. Now we operate under a freemium subscription model, and we have great perks for our Haglers. For $15 a month, they receive 0 ads, unlimited trades every month, no shipping handling fee, and all of those carbon dating points that we saving our customers, they go to cosmetic digital rewards to encourage users to trade over and over and over again. Now, this application is usable by anybody with a phone and stuff, but our marketing dollars will go to college students and middle-aged men and women who are either the head of their households or have specific niche enthusiasts. We're going to reach those audiences by targeted social media ads for specific niches, college and convention pop-ups, and mobile gaming ads. And at a certain amount of items updated in a specific category, we're going to be switching our focus to other items so we get a nice variety of items on the application. And behind the application, we're going to be having a GPS radius-based item searching software, Hertfordshire Enterprise AWS platform, and our AI is going to be recommending trades to users based on their likes, and we're going to be valuing the items that they post behind the scenes so we can recommend them trades that they will like every time. Now, the time for bartering is now. This is what some of the biggest names in media are saying about bartering. Bartering's back, bartering's making a comeback, but there's no user-friendly free platform right now to do so. So we're taking this and we're truly filling a hole in the market and creating a system that will be used for decades and centuries to go. And with me and my team of Grayson Fling and Zion Archibald, we have the skills, we have the vision, and we have the mindset to create this and turn it into a global, scalable, repeatable process where we'll be able to fill everybody's need to barter. My only question for you guys is, are you ready to get your Hagl on?
Well, awesome. Thank you so much, Eric. Awesome concept. And that's a great tagline. As a marketer, I appreciate that. Are you ready to get your Hagl on? Let's throw it over to the judges for questions. Sophie.
I'm actually a really active Poshmark user because all the fashion items, I just don't have the chance to use it during COVID. It's all sweatshirts. So first question, we have Poshmark for fashion. We have Facebook marketplaces for furnitures. What's your bread and butter for trading items? And how do you ensure the items being traded on the platform are legal?
Yeah, so definitely. So essentially on the application, users will have to agree to our terms and service, of course, which is just standard. And then also once items are posted on the application, our application is going to be able to scan the items and see that they're not like a gun. And they're going to be able to look out for stuff like people, because that's something that, you know, it's a real thing that's out there. So we're going to have our software be able to identify those items and ban those accounts quickly. We're also going to have a reporting option for our users. So if you come across, say, a baby on there, you're able to report that user. And so we can take them down and contact the proper authorities.
I believe it's really hard to say scan drugs. If it's being hiding, you know, underneath some cover, but that's another issue. Like, I'm just curious, can you walk us through the logistic chain? So from the beginning to the end of the trade, because I believe you have some factories or mid-layer facilities involved, right, in between, yeah.
Yeah, sure. So essentially, if me and you were going to complete a trade, we would go on the application, say we completed the trade on the application, we decided to ship the item. So you would get a box from us. We're providing the boxes to keep with that environmentally safe location and whole strategic plan. So you get your box, you put your item into the box, and you send it to Hagl's clearinghouses. Once it gets there, we see the item, we validate it to be the item and the condition that you presented it to be. And if everything checks out with both parties, then we send the items to, your item would go to me and my item would go to you. And if there was a problem, then the items would go back to the original user. And if it was something like drugs or anything like that, then we would obviously not let that item go through and we would contact proper authorities.
Thanks, Eric.
No problem.
Thanks for that, Eric. Let's go over to Marlon.
Eric, great job. Really love the concept. So you actually answered one of the questions related to the clearinghouse. These ports, is that something, as you think about your kind of go to market, is that 2 years, 3 years into the future, and you can kind of get up and running without the focus on brick and mortar that so early in the process, or how are you thinking about when that
yeah,
comes into play?
sure. So Hagl ports are definitely going to be something that we want early on, essentially at launch, because we're not building a new place. We're utilizing local libraries. So we're going to be working with different counties to infiltrate those counties or those libraries so people can go to the library and do their trades in person. Right now, there's no option for people to do any kind of safe location on any marketplace, Facebook marketplace, eBay, Listia, doesn't matter. There's no recommended place. They tell you to go to a well-lit parking lot and that's all you get. And everything else is on you. So we're offering users a new experience, and it's going to be a hard little change for people to understand that. But I believe that it's going to be very valuable to the users and to our customers.
Yeah. No, I agree. I would just, kind of encourage you to think about, just as you're trying to get your platform, out there, if that's going to be something that potentially slows down any of the rollout, it could be something that could be, phased in at a later date. So, but no, love the concept and great job.
Thank you for that feedback. I really appreciate it.
Sure.
Awesome. Juan?
Yeah, real quick. Thank you, Eric, for that fantastic pitch. Just other than you receiving AROD trading cards that you didn't want, what brought you and your teammates to tackle this opportunity together?
Yeah, sure. So I came up with the concept in 2018. I was actually in school in Boston. I wasn't at Howard. And I noticed that everybody around my dorm was trading stuff, shoes for watches, skateboards for anything. And it was just like a whole ecosystem of bartering going on in the dorm rooms. And one day I was home on winter break and I thought to myself, why is this not more of a mainstream thing? And it's not because bartering isn't a viable system, it's because there's no real platform to do it on. You can't barter on Facebook Marketplace, you can't barter on eBay. So there's really a limited amount of places like Craigslist, which is a pretty sketchy application to go barter at. So bringing this to the customer, we're really trying to fill a void in the market and make sure that people have accessibility to barter across the country and across the globe.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for that, Eric. A question from the chat. How will you convert from a free to premium model?
Yeah, so our free users are users that are going to be the majority of our users, of course, but our premium users, our hagglers, are going to be people that are bartering multiple times a month. If you notice in the business model, our free users pay a $4.99 shipping fee if they want to ship items, and our users that are hagglers don't pay that. So if you're bartering multiple times a month and you're one of our best customers, it entices you to sign up for that haggler program so then you can evaluate or not have to pay that $4.99 every time you want to ship an item. So it's more of a casual customer and then a repetitive customer that's bartering and bartering multiple times a month.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so much, Eric.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Audience, remember to rate each startup at the bottom of the screen for your chance to win a free Passport membership and also decide our Audience Choice Award. Next, we were supposed to have Tishauna Wilson. Unfortunately, she's run into a family emergency and unfortunately is not going to be able to pitch today. Our thoughts are with her and we do wish her the best. We will certainly be inviting her back to one of our future events. And of course, if you have an interest in hearing more about Tasckq or being connected to Tishauna, please use the Connect with Startups tab and we'd be happy to make that introduction for you. So next in the program, we are going to go to Abidemi Awojuyigbe, CEO and founder of Scholist.
Abidemi. I'm the founder of Scholist app. Scholist app is a scholarship platform designed to help students discover, apply, and keep track of scholarships. So how it all started. I noticed a significant rate of Black and minority students had an overwhelming amount of student debt after college. I quickly realized that they don't have the resources or the network to access this opportunity. So I want to be part of the solution and bridging the gap. I conducted a survey for students, and I noticed that the #1 financial worry was that students don't have enough money to pay for school. So I identified 3 major problems. The first one being students do not have enough money to pay for college and are overwhelmed by the amount of loans they have to pay. The second one being students find it difficult meeting monthly expenses as well as affording basic human needs. And lastly, students need help prioritizing and keeping track of scholarships. Who are we creating this for? We are creating this for students like you. Students who work more than 1 job, students who need help paying for college as well as meeting monthly expenses. So Scholist is on a mission to make sure that everyone is awarded the same opportunities, regardless of color, background, and culture. So how do we intend to solve this problem? We have a filtered database of scholarships catered to every student's eligibility criteria. We also have reminders that can be activated and snoozed to help students keep track of scholarship deadlines. And lastly, we have a community where you can receive scholarship tips and advice from people in your organization or in your school. So how does it work? Scholist has a pretty easy user-friendly interface where you put in information and then you have personalized recommended scholarships on your dashboard. On your dashboard, you can discover and apply to scholarships right for you, learn from students and alumni in your school or organization, and track submitted scholarship applications. This is what the progress tracker looks like, a scholarship tracker. You can track your progress of your application here. Scholist's key features includes reminders, student reviews, one-on-one coaching, a community, and a scholarship essay training. How do we intend to make money? Scholist app will be a freemium model. The basic version would have personalized scholarship, access to the school's community, limited reminders and snooze button, as well as a scholarship tracker. And the pro version would have all that, as well as one-on-one coaching and essay training. Right now, the ed tech industry in the US has a market value of $22 billion. And for online scholarship services, the market value is said to be $53 million. And Scholist expects to capture 20% of the available market. Who are our customers? Our customers are college students and high school students and their parents, as well as counselors, also essay writers and scholarship coaches. So far, since the start of our social media campaign, we've had over 800 Linktree clicks on our scholarship, as well as more than 100 newsletter subscribers, and more than 500 plus followers on our social media. What sets us apart from our competition? We have scholarship tracking, essay coaching, personalized scholarship database, and access to a scholarship community, which other scholarship platforms don't have. What are plans for Scholist? By May, we hope to have a functional website by May of 2021, as well as collaborations with other companies, schools, and also including campus ambassadors to help promote Scholist. We plan to increase our online presence and create brand awareness. Scholist app is a platform built for students by students. My name is Abidemi. I'm the founder of Scholist. I have won over 30 scholarships awarded, total $60,000, and I'm here to help you. Please, if you're interested, feel free to contact me.
Thank you so much, Abidemi. We'll go to Sophie for any questions.
One question. Is there, so as a scholarship aggregating platform, where do you source all the data to begin with?
Yes, so for now, I'm doing it like myself, but moving forward, we're trying to build a technology where we can squib different free scholarship websites and then put it on our platform. But for now, I already have a database of scholarships that I've made over the years that I'm putting on the website. But moving forward, when we have more of a team, we're gonna have something squib different websites to put on our scholarship database.
Got it. And the other end of the story is there any student scholarship matchmaking platform out there or only decentralized services?
Sorry, what do you mean?
Is there any student scholarship matchmaking platform already existed?
Yeah.
Online, offline, yeah.
Yeah, so there, in my competition, I mentioned there was Scholly, there's Fast Web Scholarship Owl, as well as Going Married. But none of them have a Scholist community, like a scholarship community where people can get tips and advice. So I'm trying to bring that into my platform, as well as having like personalized recommendations, the essay coaching part. I've noticed that students have to go outside to get help for their essays. Why not have it in one platform? So yeah, that's kind of what I'm bringing into the table.
Last question is, why only charging, say, not only is a fixed $10 a month versus, say, a percentage of the scholarship? Yeah.
Yeah, so for now, I'm still building on the business model, but that was kind of something that we thought of, like, okay, we looked at other scholarship websites, what they were charging. They were charging like $7 or charging per package per year for 3 months. So I was like, okay, let's find an estimate. So I got $10, but that's definitely still in work in progress. And by the end of, I would say this month or March, we would have a strict business model.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sophie. Marlon?
Thanks. Great job, Abidemi. One question, it seems like you're building a two-sided marketplace. You have the students and then you have these coaches and kind of tutors. How are you bringing them to the platform? I should say them being the coaches. And are you providing any compensation for them?
So at first I wanted to do like volunteering, like putting it out there, like, oh, would people want to volunteer to coach? But then I thought about the Tasckq model. So Tasckq has something where you have a tutor and then they get paid per hour to tutor, and then students pay monthly to access Tasckq study. So I wanted something like that for Scholist. So if you want access to essays, you're gonna pay monthly. And then in terms of the coaches, we're gonna pay them per hour. Just so if a student doesn't need you for a whole hour, you get paid half of that or something like that. So I'm basing it off like you're gonna have a strict per hour payment for the coaches, and then students, they have a monthly payment. So we'll be able to offset costs with that.
Great. And that's what you're saying. I mean, you think that's the real value proposition is the community. Are there going to be ways to interact with the other students on the platform and kind of learn what how people, tips and tricks that other people have done to be successful?
Yeah, that's what the community is for. It's just like tips and advice. You can learn mostly in your school, your organization. Maybe someone has applied to a scholarship that you want to apply for. You can ask questions like a Reddit community, work for scholarships. So that's kind of where I was going with that.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much. Juan.
Oh, thanks. Thank you so much for the pitch, Abidemi. That's a great opportunity, and should provide some really fantastic help for students. I guess the one question I have is just that the business model. How can you make it more of a recurring revenue business model over time? I get the impression that students will apply for scholarships and need this assistance, prior to college, and then perhaps, again, maybe during college, if they're applying for scholarships at the end of each year, or when they're entering, a graduate program. But, in the interim, during those, in between those times, how do you expect to keep those customers active on the platform?
Yeah, so that's actually a good question. I was looking at 3 different models. So I was looking at maybe if people pay $10 a month and then they're billed every 6 months. So in that 6-month period, you actually are searching for scholarships heavy, right? And then the remaining months you can like turn off your subscription and then like wait till the next scholarship season. Or you can pay in every quarter, like maybe you need scholarships right now, but you're gonna pay higher per month. So like if $10 per month for 6 months, for every quarter will be like $13 a month. But if you want to pay just for pay as you go, so you can pay like $15 a month, and if you only need it for like 3 months. So it's just, there's going to be different pricing packages for different kinds of people. So it depends on how long you need scholarships for. And students are always going to need scholarships. As people go, more people are coming from high school. So it's going to be constant. People are going to want to pay for the platform in the amount of time they need for scholarships.
Thank you.
Awesome. Abidemi, thank you so much for introducing us to Scholist.
Thank you.
Next, we will hear from Safir Monroe, CEO of Undelay.
Hello, everybody, and my name is Safir Monroe, and I'm the CEO of Undelay. Now, let me go through the problems that people in a lot of industries face within flight delays. So the flight delays cost the airline industry $8.2 billion a year. And when a plane arrives and departs at a specific airport, over 100 processes can attribute to a flight delay. And with these processes, radios are used to communicate the different details around those processes at about 40,000 airports worldwide. So let me walk you through a typical delay scenario. So let's say a pilot encounters a problem with the plane. They're in constant communication with air traffic control, as well as the OCC and sometimes ground operators to fix that problem. So as you can see from the diagram, there's a lot of one-to-one radio communications happening at different areas within the aviation operation. So what we do at Undelay is we analyze different radio operations to determine the flight delay causes before it's reported 30 minutes after the delay problem happens within an operation. So within our technology, we're able to scan hundreds of different radio conversations worldwide remotely. And we're able to determine the reasons why flights are delayed and pin those reasons to real-time flights. So customers and different aviation departments, as well as travel companies, airlines, and airports can see which transcript relates to specific flights. And also regular product managers are not familiar with different phraseologies, and air traffic control can also see different definitions of what's going on without knowing the different phraseology. So this is the first page of our dashboard. As you can see, our AI determines if there's debris and ice that contribute to a flight delay in real time. So as you can see in the transcript, we show the translations of what different terms mean in air traffic control, as well as the flights that attribute to that specific delay within that specific airport. So we have a SaaS business model. We deliver this data to our different customers via API, as well as our web dashboard. So we charge per airport. So we charge about $360 per airport annually, plus a $500 initiation device fee, as well as for global coverage, we have the capability to scan 800 airports worldwide. And with that, we would charge airlines or airports roughly $3 million. So our total addressable market size is absolutely huge. There are about 17,000 commercial airports in the world, as well as 5,000 airlines. And there's a lot of different types of travel companies that use flight delay data, such as flight delay compensation companies like AirHelp, or online flight booking companies like Google Flights, or corporate travel management companies like World Travel Incorporated, as well as full aviation service companies like Airport Terminal Services, other known as ATS. So our different competitors such as OAG, FlightAware, FlightStats, as well as Flight Radar 24, they provide flight data that shows, okay, the delay time, as well as different flight delay of departure information, as well as gate changes. But what we do is we analyze the text and we provide why the actual flight is delayed through conversations, which make us different than every other data provider on the market. So we just signed American Airlines to our beta customer list yesterday, which we're very excited about. And we also have about 12 beta customers. We have a founder-built MVP, so IP is fully owned. We're currently scanning about 15 airports. And we also won a $25,000 grant from the Afro-Tech pitch competition. And we also awarded $15,000 in AWS credits from Ascent 2020. And we have 6,000 left. And I've personally invested about $35,000 of my own funds over the past 2 years. So this is our contact information. So anybody has any questions about what we do, how we do it, and wants to reach out to me, as well as any customers or extra beta users that would love to use our platform, let me know and I'll reach back out to you. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much, Safir, for sharing your business with us. AWS credits are actually part of the Passport platform. So with your Black Founder Scholarship, you'll actually get to claim some of those. I know you're running low now.
Thank you. Yes, I am running low. That was a point. So whoever has some, please give it to me.
Absolutely. So let's turn it over to Sophie for any questions.
First of all, this is a fantastic pitch because it's addressing my core issues. I live on a plane before COVID, and I understood that you launched this opportunity, this idea before COVID as well. And hopefully the AA, American Airlines Service, will step up from this point. Because I understood that you just signed a partnership with them. They need to step up the game. But the question is, one, how did this opportunity found you? Like, when is it, like, I'm just very curious about your background and where do you land this opportunity? Yeah.
Well, started at Howard University, of course, graduated with a degree in mechanical engineering. And after I graduated from Howard, I actually went to software development. So I worked as a web developer for Delta Airlines. So after Delta Airlines, I landed a contract with the Atlanta airport through a hackathon. So I've always been understood the airline industry. And then when I left Delta, I continued working with the airport and learned a lot about operations. I read a lot of different books about just air traffic control, as well as aviation operation and delay management problems. And then from that, I just understood going to the conferences all around the world. I was able to understand how systems work. And then from that, I developed a system of my own to just improve overall operations and data handling methods.
Thanks for that entrepreneur spirit. Whatever you don't understand, you learn and be able to boost this idea. And is there any privacy issues when you're trying to translate that radio communication into text and then offer to enterprise clients? Yeah.
It's not actually. So all the data that I'm scanning is actually public information, which a lot of people are unaware of, but all the details around flights, if flights are delayed, how flights are delayed, if it's due to engine failures, overweight planes, baggage handling processes, as well as mismanagement and crew operations, which account for more than 50% operational delays, are public information. But it's just using AI on like how to get the right words from that data at the specific times, how to aggregate that data efficiently, how to listen constantly 24/7 is something that hasn't been done before. So it's all public information. That's why I was able to, sign up all the beta customers I have right now, and also I have a couple of paid pilots coming up as well because of the data being so public. So for the past 2 decades, governments have been pushing for a lot of data to be public, as well as the Montreal Convention Act, I believe that's what it's called, has been passed to, push a lot of airlines globally to, give customers back their money if there's flight delays, and to show customers why the flights are delays makes that easier, for all sides, increased operations, more data insight for travel management companies. So it's huge, like that. I'm sure you've, got flights in a lot of different ways, but you've never seen transcripts of, why flights are delayed next to the data that you provide. So it's huge.
What's the biggest hurdle, difficult that you have to convince when you onboard a client like American Airlines?
The biggest, I would say, just getting into the industry is tough. There's a lot of barriers to the industry. The travel industry space, it's very government regulated, so it's very slow. So the reason why, working, meeting with enterprises can take a long time is just because of, doing deals and, just a lot of red tape around it. But honestly, most of my customers I've acquired through LinkedIn DMs. So I've been pretty fortunate to get a lot of great responses. But typically, yes, it does take a long time to do a lot of deals. But it's great. A lot of people are open to it, and a lot of people have integrated the API within their local systems. It's very interesting.
Awesome, Safir. Yeah, the LinkedIn DMs, man,
they work.
A game changer. Absolutely. Let's go to Marlon. Any questions, Marlon?
Yes, so we covered most of mine, but one, just great presentation. Appreciate the scrappiness and the grind. It's clear that you're making it happen. And I think you spoke to it, but just in terms of integration with the airlines, it sounds like it's just an API call. It's not something that's going to require them to spend a lot of money to get you up and running on their platform.
Yeah, not at all. So when I say device purchase, it's really device purchase on my side, right? So imagine if you were to, let's say if you want to buy Bitcoin from a company, right? They would have their hardware on their side, and then they would feed Bitcoin within your wallet. However, you wouldn't have to purchase hardware, right? So it's like us, we have hardware, but we use that to produce data, but we feed that data to our customers via a SaaS platform. So all the customer has to do is either sign up to our dashboard or, get an API key specific to their company, and then, stream our data.
Beautiful.
Juan?
Yeah, Safir, thank you for the pitch. Wonderful job. And very interesting idea. I mean, we obviously all have experienced the flight delays and would love that to end. But the one question I have is sort of a follow-up to Marlon's with regards to the hardware side of the business. I guess I'm curious as to what is the cost of the hardware for one, and then what agreements are required for you to be able to put the hardware in place to get access to those radio communications that you need. Because I'd love to see how this can actually expand as quickly as possible. But just curious as to the economics of getting the hardware in place.
Definitely. So we're in talks with local data centers. So I'm based in Atlanta, so there's data centers in College Park that can store different hardware devices. So let's say every hardware device is capable of scanning data from one airport remotely. So with that, we would store all those devices within a data center. So cost metrics wise, it costs about $250 a month to scan data. So in terms of just my savings, money from Afrotech and as well as AWS, we use that money to supply our beta customers. But that's why, let's say if we land one contract for $3 million, right? Every other entity becomes very profitable. So 3 or 4 or 5 aviation entities with us, airports, airlines, or travel companies can scan data from one airport, and our costs remain the same. But let's say if 2 customers scan data from one airport, then we become very profitable. So that's our road to profitability from the hardware side. But as no airport, airline, or travel company integration needs to be done from the hardware side. But so we are a SaaS company that just has hardware, but the customer doesn't have to do anything.
Okay. Fantastic. No, I asked because you mentioned that you were currently scanning 15 airports. And I'm just curious as to how we can get that to all of the major airports, domestically.
Hey, if I had, $1 million, would do it. So, we could talk about that.
The old adage of if I had $1 million. Right?
If I had $1 million, I'll be scaling data everywhere, and everybody get access to whatever they need at any time. But
Awesome. Well, Safir, thank you so much for introducing us to Undelay. Remember, audience, rate each startup at the bottom of your screen for your chance to win a free Passport membership, and also decide our audience choice winner who's going to win that $500 prize. Next up, we have Ahriana Edwards, who's the founder of Vaila.
All right. Can everybody see my screen?
We can see it.
All right. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Ahriana Edwards, and I'm the founder of Vaila, an online business lifestyle shoe brand for women with extensive shoe sizes. So I love the fact that employers are adapting to the bring your whole self to work culture, right? But let's be honest, if you're a shoe size 9 and up and you're a woman, this is almost impossible because 10% of US women require these large shoe sizes, but they're barely available in shoe stores in stylish and professionally appropriate styles. It's true. So for decades, these women have been unconsidered within society's beauty standards and unconsidered within the retail footwear market. How am I supposed to be able to show up as my best self to work if I can't even find the shoes to complete my outfit? And that's where we come in. So our core purpose is providing access to extensive size classy shoes for these professional women as they go along in their workplace. Within our product, we are on a website and we're an online platform, and we actually have size variety, ladies. We're in stock. Our shoe sizes ranges from size 9 to 14 and narrow, wide, and half size options so that you literally have shoes that are fit for a boss. And next, we have fashion flexibility. No more going to your local stores and getting those 1960s old flats that we see. We actually have trendy styles available. And with our work lifestyle categories, such as workplace essentials and brunch bosses, or for the happy hour, you can easily shop on our platform for events. Not only are we classy, but we're comfortable. And with our cushion quality materials, you are literally made to walk a mile in your shoes. But most importantly, we want to have a valued experience for our customers. And with our personal tools, we will let our customers have the inclusivity that they've been looking for. So we do know that we have some industry competitors, right? There are individuals who sell these large size shoes. However, once you get past size 10, half sizes are gone. And then also the narrow and wide size options are limited as well. So Vaila counteracts to that by providing that. But most importantly, our competitive advantage is that we channel the professional woman's lifestyle compared to our competitors who just take advantage of the general woman's lifestyle. So we're going to be making money off of our direct to consumer transactional business model, right? So they want access, we're going to give it to them, no strings attached. They can go to our website and purchase from our seasonal selection of styles, and then also be entered into a points reward system where they get exclusive benefits for the money that they spend on our platform. Then when we become seasoned, we will introduce the Vaila Club, where executive members pay a monthly fee and receive exclusive benefits such as seasonal sneak peeks and special discounts. So not only are we tapping into the 8.6 million women with extensive shoe sizes, right? We're coming straight for society's beauty standards, okay? Women should have an option to be able to show up as the woman that they want to, and not what society has been deciding with these lame styles nowadays. So we're coming for the women who are just tired of spending so much money on shoes, who just hate the shopping experience because there's no shoe size within the market. And last but not least, who hate feeling limited on their fashion options. So we have an incredible team of individuals who have worked with Fortune 500 companies. And with our love for women empowerment and equality, we're able to tackle this problem. So we're looking for $2,000 in funding to start the research and development process of our company. We want to be able to create a last prototype and then go into designer fees so we can start our first line of business. So psychologists have long proven that if you dress well, you feel better and you're more productive. So it's more than just wearing heels. It's wearing shoes that portrays the woman that we strive to be every time we show up at work. So put your best foot forward and invest in Vaila, a business lifestyle shoe brand that lets 8.6 million professional women show up and show out in their world of business. Thank you.
Ahriana, thank you so much. I will send it over to Sophie for any questions.
Perfect.
I'm actually very curious about Marlon and Juan's question as, sitting other side of the gender. But my first question, this is a niche of a niche market, right? How many have you done research on how many shoes does one woman own throughout their entire adulthood life?
Oh yeah, women throughout their whole entire adulthood life, it depends on, kind of the income, but women own about 20 pairs of shoes. And I know for me, I'm basically the ideal customer for my business. So I found myself impulse buying. If I see a shoe, I'm going to grab it, even if I don't wear it like that, because there's no options out there. But yeah, we buy a lot of shoes.
Definitely falling behind the chart. Second is, how do you reach the number that you put on the deck about the total addressable market, right? And then follow up is that how are you plan to streamline the demand, supply, and most importantly, inventory issue, which a lot of online D2C business will run into? Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, definitely. So how we got to that number of 8.6 million professional women is that we noticed that significantly 40 to 50% of women are working in these corporate fields or, within the, corporate offices or your real estate and things of that nature. And also we found that there's not really sort of a market or there's not really information out there that measures everybody's shoe size, which is crazy. So we pulled those numbers from a database that basically kind of compares your shoe size to your average height. And so we found that women who are 5'7" and up are most likely to wear a size 9 and up. And so that's how we got to that number of our total addressable market. And your second question, let me make sure I got it. Can you repeat it, please?
The supply demand issue as a D2C business model, how do you handle the inventory issue? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So we are going to do a seasonal business launch. So every season, that's when we come out with a new set of styles. And that's going to counteract with our inventory. If you are a professional woman, you know that we just plug and play with the shoes that we have, and we don't really buy so many shoes for the workplace. We find ourselves buying within my market research, at least 4 pairs of shoes a year. And so that's where we got those numbers from. So that is going to really counteract our inventory issue that you were explaining. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Sophie. Marlon.
Yeah, so I think I'm tracking. I do. My wife, I think she has 100 shoes, but we won't go there. So you're planning on creating your own brand. You're creating the shoes from soup to nuts. You're not kind of bringing in other brands into your platform. It's all going to be your own product.
Yeah, so this is going to be our own product. We found that one of the hardest questions to answer from our customer discovery is, what is your favorite brand of shoes? And we want to have a brand that's meant for them, that's solely meant for them, that they know they can go to and shop from. So we're going to start off with designing our own shoes. And then as we progress and expand, we do want to partner with those professional and popular brands.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
No problem.
And thank you, Marlon. Juan?
Thank you, Ahriana. Fantastic pitch. I guess I think the one question I have is, whenever I think about direct-to-consumer online businesses in general, particularly those in fashion, I always get concerned about sizing and returns. These businesses typically have very high returns, usually because the consumers don't get the right size, or the size it doesn't quite fit the same way that they expect. And I know that's an issue in shoes, particularly for men, but particularly for women. So I'm curious as to how you expect to help women find the right size for a particular type of shoe that you're designing, such that you can minimize returns. And I understand that you're early in the planning process, but something you would think about with this business would be how to minimize those returns if you can.
No, yeah, definitely. So as I mentioned in my industry competitor slide, once you get past size a 10, there's barely any half size options. And so within our products, we will have that half size option and narrow and wide option for them that's available for them. We haven't gotten to the specifics yet of which shoe styles that we want to have with which styles. That's something that we're still developing. But as you know, a woman, if it's a nice pair of shoes, we're going to fit. We're going to do what we can to get in them. But that's how we're going to alleviate that sizing barrier.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, Ahriana, thank you so much for introducing us to Vaila. We're going to go to Matthew Bradshaw, founder and CEO of Growing Through Outreach.
Good evening, I am Matthew Bradshaw, and today I'll be presenting on Growing Through Outreach, a mobile application that will assist in mitigating the isolation present in assisted living homes. One moment. Now, you may be wondering, why? Why is this needed now in a time in which hospitals are overcrowded, layoffs increase by the day, and the distrust between citizens and government grow? Because this pandemic has highlighted how vulnerable and neglected our older demographic is. The restriction on in-person visitations has left many assisted living residents in a perpetual state of distress and fear. They are confined to their complexes, anxiously waiting for their family to come visit and trying to remain positive in such a dire time. The social isolation is a danger to their frail psyches. Practitioners going as far as to list it as a contributing factor to the deaths of elderly during the pandemic. Or rather, on the other hand, it's something that I can deeply relate to. Since the outbreak, I've had these thoughts of fear and abandonment voiced to me by my grandmother, who truly wanted to interact with the world again. It was a feeling I could not possibly imagine, feeling completely cut off from the world. It was only because she was taught how to use a smartphone was she able to keep in contact with her friends and not feel completely isolated. Remember, most seniors, especially those in assisted living homes, are not as tech savvy as the younger generation. They cannot simply take up a phone and call or text a friend or family when they get lonely. They have to rely on authentic physical interactions that simply cannot be done without the possibility of exposure. I look at Growing Through Outreach not only as an opportunity to give back to the community, but as an attempt to connect those from the past to those from the past to those in the present. What do I mean by this? I believe that there is a lot more we can learn from the elderly today. When I was younger, my mother would say the Jamaican proverb, "Dog have money and buy cheese." Whenever she saw me being wasteful with money. The proverb was one she learned from her grandmother and means, like you would guess, someone with money will always find a way to waste it. And that is something that has stuck with me to this day. My hope is that through conversation, students are given an opportunity to learn life lessons that will serve them throughout their later years. Students and seniors can set the times and days that they will be available and be matched based on time compatibility. Once matched, the two participants can engage in conversation and then afterwards save one another in the application's context. The caretakers at the assisted living homes will be the ones monitoring the senior accounts and initiating the first search and informing them of any subsequent calls afterwards. The application will be developed with the comfort of the user in mind. One of our main concerns was creating a user interface that catered to seniors, especially the visually impaired. The layout that was chosen was one that used a combination of large buttons and words so that the user experience would be more pleasant and easy to understand. Being available on multiple platforms such as desktop, browser, and mobile application gives the user several different ways in which they can use the application. In addition to that, the app allows administrators from schools to create accounts that allow them to easily verify community service hours with the built-in tracker. Growing Through Outreach will initially look to have its application be implemented as another source of community service at Claflin University, and then steadily branch its services to other universities. It is hoped that based on my own experiences with my grandmother and other seniors in my home country, that this app can fill the gap of social interactions that is sadly lacking for most seniors, especially during the pandemic. It is my hope that my proposal will be considered on its merit, and we would welcome any suggestions, if any, to improve on our application. Good evening.
Oh, thank you so much, Matthew, for sharing this. Let's go to Sophie.
So quick, I'm still trying to digest, but very novel approach. And you're on a great mission, but it's very hard problem to crack because there are human connection, personality matchmaking, content supervising, as well as technical difficulties that you ask a lot of senior to adapt. So that's a loaded question, sorry. Direct one, who's responsible for the communication content? Who's the supervisor between the senior and the student you match with? Yeah.
You mean like who will be looking at, who will be supervising, like whether or not the conversation is appropriate, or?
Would there be a facilitator to break the ice? Or if there's not, then how do you ensure the safety, security of the communication? And then one step above that is the quality of it.
Well, through that, we were actually hoping to actually vet our applicants beforehand to make sure that they're of character, both seniors and students beforehand. And well, we would be first monitoring the first conversations between them, but not subsequent. If anything did seem to be appropriate, then the seniors could file a report and we would get it back, and then we'd reprimand the student.
How do you plan to charge? Maybe I missed the monetization page. Yeah. Can you walk us through the business plan?
I was actually thinking that through monetization, we would be doing it mostly through crowdfunding, because I was thinking that it'd be a nonprofit organization, but we're still currently trying to figure out how exactly we would actually employ monetization. It seems like something that would be rather difficult considering the nature of it. So we'll keep that as an option.
Absolutely. Let's go over to Marlon.
Yeah, Matthew, great job. Spent some time, and I think to Safi's point, this is a really difficult challenge that you're trying to tackle. So appreciate you leaning in and thinking about it. The issue in part is obviously, connectivity to the world outside, but then sometimes it's even as how do the seniors communicate with their own kind of friends and family? Have you thought about potentially starting there first and helping to facilitate that prior to moving to kind of folks outside of their immediate network?
I mean, that was one of the things that we were actually considering. We're still in the development phase, so we're still trying to brainstorm. But at the moment, currently, we've actually started creating the mobile application. But I'm not sure. It's something that I'm going to have to look into.
Thanks.
Yeah, fantastic feedback, Marlon. It's great to get things to think about. That's the nature of pitch competitions. Juan.
Thank you. And thank you, Matthew. You're definitely, as Marlon mentioned, tackling a very much needed issue here, and certainly wish you the best as you move forward here. I guess the one thing I had, and Sophia and Marlon asked some fantastic questions. I think I'd love to learn more about you and your team, your backgrounds, and how you guys came together on this particular issue.
It was, the idea actually initially came from me when because we actually have a business competition inside of the school. So it gave me the opportunity to actually look into a lot of social problems, like especially because you know how disastrous COVID-19 has affected the lives of, you know, citizens. So I was thinking that no one's really talking about this set, this like the demographic, and I'm looking at the effects. So I'm rather concerned. So I actually decided to look for people that had the skills needed. Like, for example, I have my marketing manager who is currently looking at the possibility of people that we could partnership with once we actually have the mobile application completed. And I have a computer science major who is actually building the desktop and the browser version. And there's someone else that's there to assist him if he's having issues. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Matthew, thank you so much for introducing us to Growing Through Outreach and for embarking on this mission. I think we all have been impacted by something like this during COVID with relatives and especially the elderly. And so we commend you for really going down that road and trying to fix that problem. I am pleased to say that we actually are able to get Tishauna Wilson, the CEO and founder of Tasckq, into the pitch. So please welcome her to the virtual stage.
Good evening, everyone. We are the new Tasckq in town, and we are extremely focused on scheduling meetings faster. I think we all know that scheduling meetings can be very time costly. When I interned at Google last year, I experienced just that. I learned through research that it can take over 30 minutes to schedule one meeting. Even at Google, it sometimes took me over an hour to schedule a meeting. So at my desk, I did some basic calculations. I estimated that since it can sometimes take over 30 minutes to schedule one meeting, that means that a company with 100 employees with the average of 3 meetings per employee per day will result in over 2 million minutes wasted, which equals over 1,500 days. I said to myself, that's crazy. So I imagined, what if I could schedule meetings in 1 minute or less? That is when Tasckq came to fruition, where we believe that we can become the fastest way to schedule meetings. Tasckq is a B2B SaaS product that automatically books the meeting for the scheduler or allows the scheduler to book the meeting in one click. The user has a free choice in this case. So you're probably asking, well, who are you and how can you lead Tasckq to success? Well, I am Tishauna Wilson, a first-year master's student in computer science at Virginia Tech, a 2020 graduate from Florida A&M University, and the CEO and founder of Tasckq. I am most notably known for being named the Black female Mark Zuckerberg and a tech genius by Black Enterprise. I've also interned at multiple companies, with the most being known being Google and the current one being NASA JPL. Currently, Tasckq is in its final stages of bringing on its first 2 advisors, who happen to be senior vice presidents from JP Morgan and DocuSign. Furthermore, we are actively hiring for the required roles listed. Now, in 2024, the online appointment scheduling software market size will reach over $6 billion, increasing at 11% compound annual growth rate. Our initial target audience is small to medium enterprises. Currently, there are over 59 million SMEs, and according to Software Advice, a combined 61% of SMEs experience faster, easier, and more accurate scheduling using scheduling software. In 5 years, we believe that we can take 10% market shares of SMEs, which could equal over $885 million in sales. Now, there are plenty of services for you, but there are not any like Tasckq. By Tasckq offering a freemium option, it will aid us with bringing in masses. Our revenue model is based on 4 different options, from free to enterprise. You may also ask, well, why now? Especially with one of your competitors just being valued at $3 billion, which in fact is a perfect question. For Tasckq, we are in a win-win situation where there is still a huge market opportunity, a first mover advantage with fully automating the scheduling process, and having low-cost technology. Right now, Tasckq is in beta testing, where we have 15 beta testers. And a few months ago, we ran a successful content marketing giveaway, which resulted in 2,000 early access signups and converted into 1,200 of those signups willing to test out the product. In the last 8 months, we have received investments from Gucci and Cummins and formed a partnership with both Cisco and Career Media that will help push Tasckq to the masses. Tasckq is asking for $2,000 to strengthen our strategy moving forward to capitalize on being the fastest way to schedule meetings by bringing in great people, building a superior product, and dominating market shares. By using Tasckq, the busiest people will be able to optimize their schedules and provide more time for family, hobbies, and the things in life that matter most. Thank you.
Well, Tishauna, thank you so much. We're so happy we were able to get you back in here. And of course, we wish you the best with everything. Let's kick it over to Sophie. Any questions about Tasckq?
I actually secretly hope there's an app out there helping me to schedule less meetings in pandemic. But this is also an enterprise solution for large organization, understood. Thank you. What are the top 3 main pain points of scheduling meetings? And following the question is what are the main features you're trying to adding on to the current meeting scheduling system? Yeah.
Yes. So the top 3 pain points is that it takes a lot of time to schedule meetings, especially waiting on individuals to send you back their meeting time. A lot of CRM platforms that do have scheduling meetings such as Calendly and Undocked, they're still sending scheduling links, which puts the burden on the other person to figure out if they're free at the time that you're free. And also, we're still using outdated options, which is sending text messages or emails to find when we're all available. And the options that I'm bringing in is being able, it's something called predictive scheduling, where we're able to look at both schedules or more than one schedules, depending on how many people will be meeting, and figure out when everyone's free, and Tasckq can automatically book that meeting for you in capiche. Or if I'm someone that would like several times when all of us are free, I can choose the times myself. And another feature that I'm bringing on is text messages and calls. So a lot of times when we schedule meetings, and especially with COVID and just family, we can forget that our meeting was at a certain time. Well, now we'll have where the app can text you or call you and let you know either a day before when the meeting's scheduled, or 10 minutes before, or even sometimes 10 minutes after, just in case you forget 10 minutes later.
Are you familiar with an application called Clockwise?
No.
No worries. Yeah, maybe check them out. I think they're very integrated with large enterprises to organizing individuals' meeting schedules. Yeah, but thank you for your answer. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Let's go over to Marlon.
Yeah, Tishauna, great job. Glad you were able to present tonight. The question I had, so it sounds like if somebody's outside of the enterprise, they would need to have Tasckq in order to get your predictive scheduling feature. Is that
not exactly? So what we've included now is that Tasckq could work with whether anyone's a part of Tasckq or not. So what Tasckq will do is you'll put in the individual's emails, and they'll send each person not a part of Tasckq a personalized link. And what this person will do is all they have to do is screenshot their calendar, if in fact that they use a digital calendar on their phone or computer. And then Tasckq could find the times that they're free for that day, or it'll have like boxes, and they could just click the boxes on what times they're free, send that back, and Tasckq will take everyone's availability and still book the meeting automatically. Or it can send it back to me if I'm the scheduler, the times that works for everyone, and I can just click one button on what time, and then we're all scheduled.
Perfect. But internal to the enterprise, have I downloaded into my Google Calendar, and that's how it's getting visibility? Like how are you accessing the calendar?
Yes, so you would integrate your Google Calendar or your Outlook or other software platform calendars that you use to this software.
Perfect. No, this is awesome. I mean, Calendly, one of my frustrations is somebody's reaching out to me for a meeting and then they're saying, check my calendar, and then I got to go in and look at their calendar. That's just a pet peeve of mine. But even within your own enterprise, kind of looking at everybody's calendars, it's definitely you're solving a real pain point. So congrats, good stuff.
Yeah, certainly agree with that, Marlon, on all accounts. Juan.
Thank you, and Tishauna, great job and congrats on all of your success thus far. And by the way, fellow Rattler here, so definitely pulling for you. But one quick question. I think the other judges here had some fantastic questions and had a couple of mine already. Yeah, I'm just curious. So you mentioned that you had sort of 15 customers currently in beta. I'm just curious as to what feedback you're getting from the customers from those beta users.
Yes. So the feedback that I've received was, so we had it capped at 3 people that you can put in a meeting. They're now asking, well, for free was 3 people. They're now asking if it could be 10. And so I'm working on including the 10. They also asked if it could be more for apps. So right now you have to go on the website, log into the website, and then go from there. Now they're asking if I can make it an actual mobile application. And then all they have to do is go through the application on their phone.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, Tishauna, thank you so much for being here. We're so happy we were able to get you in. And thank you for introducing us to Tasckq.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, all I can say really is wow. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for those phenomenal pitches and for introducing us to your businesses. I mean, I think I speak for everyone when I say just how blown away we are at the caliber of work coming from these talented HBCU students. Let's not forget that. They are students. So we are going to take a few minutes to tally up the scores, and we will be right back to announce the winners.
For more than 75 years, UNCF, the United Negro College Fund, has worked to combat deep-rooted obstacles to higher educational access, achievement, and career success, annually providing financial and educational support to our 37-member historically Black colleges and universities, and more than 60,000 students attending over 1,100 institutions across the United States. Your support as a workplace campaign donor is critical to our efforts. Employee donations like yours are the second largest source of unrestricted dollars for our students, allowing us to provide funds for tuition, room and board, books, and unexpected emergencies like the current COVID-19 pandemic.
Thank you, UNCF.
Thank you, UNCF.
Thank you so much to UNCF for all of the opportunities that you guys have brought into my life.
I'm now able to apply knowledge to innovation, economics, and entrepreneurship.
I'm so happy that I went to an HBCU and got connected with you all, because it really has progressed me as a person.
So, whether you decide to help by giving once or often, know that your support truly makes a difference. Talented, deserving students come from all walks of life. One of life's great equalizers is that at some point, we all need help. And given what we're all facing right now, one of these promising students may just be the next doctor, nurse, teacher, or technologist who changes your life tomorrow. Please give what you can. UNCF, our HBCUs, and our students appreciate you and your donation, no matter how big or small. Thanks, and always remember that a mind is a terrible thing to waste.
You're a founder, an owner, a builder. You move fast and need your money to keep up. You need Brex. From starting up to scaling up. It's cash management, credit cards, and expense controls, all in one place. Brex is your financial operating system. It's everything you need to power the business that powers your potential. Open an account online in minutes. It's that fast. Replace your old bank account with Brex Cash. It's faster, easier, with free ACH and wire payments. And if you're selling online, there's instant payouts, where you can get the funds from your latest sales in your Brex account now, not 2 weeks from now. Then there's the Brex card. No personal guarantee, no fees, and high limits to help you pay for business purchases, big and small. Issue virtual or physical cards to your growing team and earn top rewards on every payment. That's cash you can put back into your business. With everything working together, managing expenses is simple. Create your expense policy and let Brex do the rest. Automatic reminders and receipt matching mean you can focus on chasing the right kind of paper. And Brex integrates with the apps you already use. More time saved, full speed ahead. All the things you'd expect from the system built to keep you moving, all in one dashboard you'll actually want to use. Launch confidently, scale faster, power your potential with Brex. Sign up today at brex.com.
right, everyone. We have our winners. I will not delay. We will move on first to the winner of tonight's Audience Participation Prize, which is an annual Passport membership, will go to LaRashia S. Edwards. She is the founder of Cooking with LaRashia. Congratulations to you. You've received an annual Passport membership. Now, as a reminder to everyone in the audience, if you don't have a Passport account, those watching tonight can use the code 25HBCU, that's 25HBCU, to get 25% off an annual Passport account. And for the eligible founders in the audience, remember to apply for our Black Founder Scholarship at the link in the chat. You can also send that to anyone else you know who you think may be eligible. Now, on to the People's Choice Award as voted by our awesome audience. The winner of the $500 prize goes to Safir Monroe of Undelay. Congratulations, Safir. All right, next, the grand prize winner of $2,000 as voted on by our illustrious judging panel is Tishauna Wilson, CEO of Tasckq. Congratulations, Tishauna. So congratulations again to all of our winners tonight. And thank you to all of our partners who helped make tonight possible. Cooley, Brex, our sponsors, and our partners at UNCF. Before we end the night, I want to announce our next pitch event, which is happening next month on March 31st, where the spotlight will be on our female founders. If you or someone you know is interested in pitching your startup or attending the event, you can find more information at the link that's about to be dropped into the chat. Please attend that event and apply, spotlighting again our female founders. Now, I want to take a moment to thank our amazing audience and our fantastic judges, and to remind you that you can connect with any of our startups featured today via our Meet the Startups tab at the top of the page. Again, if you'd like an introduction to any of today's startups and their founders, you can do so at the Meet the Startups tab at the top of the page. Thank you all so much for joining us today. And thank you again to all of our fantastic HBCU student founders. Again, they were students. So amazing to see that. And on behalf of myself and OneValley, I think it is very safe to say that the future of our entrepreneurial ecosystem is in great hands. Take care, everyone. Have a great night.